Hey up, me duck.
Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Hello friends, how you doing? Just a quick reminder since my last video. So I got to Cadiz, had a wonderful time there in the carnival, but I had some issues. Two of them were a bit of a problem. One of them was the shore power. All that was, eventually I had to go through the entire route from the pedestal through every adapter, cable, plug into the boat. Was anything that was on the outside basically, when I took the adapters and the plugs apart, had rusted. The retaining screws had all rusted. It took me about 10 days, partly because there was a whole week of carnival in Cadiz. So I enjoyed that, but a lot of places were closed and weren't willing to talk to me during that period. So it did take me longer than it should have done. And then the second thing was intermittent propulsion, which I figured was a spun prop because that's what Googly Woogly tells you when you say, my boat's lost propulsion. Now I'm thinking it's probably the coupling or the reducer. So from the engine turning, needs to get to the propeller, goes through some mechanics. Because the symptoms of that, it works in forward and in reverse, but only intermittently. There's no control, obviously all you do is push it forward or push it backwards. I hear a click and then it goes in. But a spun prop would be, you increase the revs and you're not getting a propulsion. So I don't think it is a spun prop. And a spun prop is when the couplings, sometimes they're sacrificial, the purchase from the shaft to the propeller is gone. So and I think the couplings are different, it's a different mechanism. And then once it clicks in, it's there. So I made you decide, either a brave choice or a stupid choice to move from Cadiz because it's a small port there. There was no haul out, there was no mechanics, there's no services. Come across the bay 3-4 miles to Puerto Sherry, where there's lots of boats on the hard, there's lots of mechanics and services, etc. It was the closest place to be. Obviously the problem was I picked a benign day when there was no wind, so when I got here or when I was leaving the dock, I'm not going to get pushed around and things, and I went at slack tide. What happened was I came out in reverse, okay, really slowly, the slowest I could go, and I had a long line from my winch to the pontoon in case I needed to pull myself back in. It was so long that when I actually got far out, I was thinking, right, now I need to go into forwards and I might get that line caught under the prop. So I just pulled the line in anyway, so I was adrift then. And of course when I went to forwards and there's the sea wall behind me, I'm not getting any forward propulsion. So I tried 3 or 4 times, more revs, going back into neutral, trying it again, there's nothing. So I was just about to get my hook and my fenders and bat off the seawall, and it went into forwards. That allowed me, I didn't change then until I got to the marina here. They wouldn't give me a berth, even though I called them on the radio saying, look, I've got engine problems, give me the berth number. No, they insist that I need to go to the waiting pontoon. So I went to the waiting pontoon as slow as I could because I was worried. My methodology is to get to the waiting pontoon at an angle, put it into reverse to stop the boat, and I get off the boat. I don't throw lines, I get off the boat and I tie off, and I don't keep the engine on. As soon as I'm off the boat, I'm controlling the boat with my brutish hands. So, and it wouldn't go into reverse, but I did manage to manhandle the boat and control it because there was no tide and there was no wind and I was going in as slow as you can. The problem going as slow as you can is you've got no purchase, you've got no feedback, that you are at the mercy of the elements. But I would, if I was going too fast, I could bounce off the dock, I'd be lost, I could hit the boat in front, so I went as slow as possible. So, and then when I came out, I went into reverse and wouldn't go into forward again. But anyway, I managed to get to the dock. I said I need 2 marineros on the dock. I've got potentially no propulsion to stop the boat. They may have to help me stop the boat. I don't think that got through to them, but anyway. And of course, when there's somebody watching and there's no danger, it worked perfectly. So I came into the dock okay. Anyway, rambling on, long story short. So the boat is being hauled out on Tuesday. I will clean the bottom because I have half this bimini. It's very disappointing bimini. It was obstructed my way out to the front by the winch. It's very flimsy. It's cheap plastic and aluminium. Very thin coating, and it was €350, so I was expecting a lot more. But what I've done, I've just loosed half of it, pulled half of the cover back, and now I'm thinking this is going to be acceptable as a solar arch. So I've got 2 flexible solar panels coming next Friday. Now, Puerto Sherry. It's been absolutely perfect. I've fallen in love with the place for many reasons. It's 842 berths. I got the last berth fitting for my boat. It's been very, very quiet, but really good facilities. It's fully Spanish because of where it is within the bay. I don't think there's a lot of transitory traffic. But there's beaches either side. There's a beautiful wood behind me, pine wood, where you can go and cool off in the sun or do a bit of exercise or walk. And then the old town of Santa Maria is about 1.5 kilometres away. And there's restaurants and bars. It's really got the best of all worlds. And so you've got the old town, you're very close to Jerez and the winemaking and Cadiz and the history and the architecture, museums, those kind of things. You've got the beaches, you've got the wood, and round the port is 4 Thai beach clubs. So if you're of that persuasion, you like to sit on a lounger listening to house music with the in crowd, is also that as well. So I've enjoyed it here. Hola marineros interesados del mundo. Complete change of plan. Unfortunately, within the next week to 10 days, I'll be flying back to the UK. See the family, go and see my father, have a party, drink loads with the friends and people I've been missing over the past 10 months. And then get the train down to Dover and work with my good friend Boris on his boat, getting it seaworthy and ready to come back all the way to Cadiz. So Boris has been working hard, saving money, and his intention is to get to the Canaries. We're good friends and we've got a lot in common, and it'll be mutually beneficial for us both to crew and get his boat as far south as he can quickly. The reason I need to do that isn't just to help Boris. So I came to where I am now, Puerto Sherry, to seek mechanical assistance. There's one shipyard in town. They say I need a new engine and a quote in €17,000, and basically said to me he's got lots of work on, the spring campaign is underway, and he needs to make it worth his while. He's not going to diagnose and take the engine apart and see what actually needs fixing. He's just going to replace it, take the markup, and he's trying to add on things, the electrics, and he wants to clean the tank, and he forbade me from doing any work myself. He wants to do it all and he wants to charge me through the nose to do it. So no thank you. And I know from the journey I've been on, the more I know about the boat, the more I can do myself and be self-sufficient, the more it's going to help later. And not only just for the cost. In fact, it isn't really the cost, it's the safety issue. I'm quite more than happy to use the expertise of other people as long as I'm not getting ripped off. I'm getting value for money, and you know, they do a good job. But there is a massive aspect to being a solo sailor that's the wrong decision. I should just learn how to do things myself. And I'm quite prepared to do that. The problem is, I did originally think it was called a spun prop, so losing propulsion. Because it's intermittent, and I'm hearing a clicking every now and again, I think it's actually something within the transmission or the coupler or the reducer. And that's at the bottom of the engine. Now I thought of a way to lift the engine out with a pulley system on the end of the boom and, you know, get to it that way, but I don't really want to do that by myself, and have an extra pair of hands and brain and skill, which is Boris, is going to be, you know, a lot helpful for me. So that's what we're going to do. As the crow flies, it's 12 days worth of sail, but we're never going to get conducive wind to do it that quick. So it's sailing, it will be what it will be. I should imagine it's going to take us a month to sail from Dover to Cadiz, but that's what I'll be doing. So there's not going to be normal updates and videos. I'll probably do a video of that trip, but that's 8 weeks away, so I'm just keeping you all updated and why there'll be a reason for silence. Adios amigos.
Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again.